Alright. So sorry if I sound a little different today. I'm a little under the weather. Today I wanted to showcase a few different ways of automating AE2 Inscribers for making processors. Once I remember to turn VSync on, and to turn my UI scale to large for the video, that is, much better. So this is not necessarily every way you could do it, or every way you could do it even with these mods, but these are just a few of the ways I like to do it. So I'm going to start over here with the one that amuses me the most, which is Mekanism. It amuses me mainly because it has sound effects. So basically I'm using a logistical sorter here to pull out the various items and color them accordingly. And then I've got logistical transport pipes here, colored with whichever item is supposed to go into this one. So the gold gets colored green and that goes in here, so on and so forth. Then this blue line here pulls out and goes into the top cell of this. The redstone gets colored purple and it goes into the middle. And then the silicon gets colored dark blue and goes into this inscriber, which then makes the silicon prints. It's decently fast. Oops. It's decently fast. It's not the fastest. It takes about a little over 2 minutes to do a set of 8 of each. But what's cool is that it has sound effects and you get to watch the stuff go around. Basically, every time this ejects an item, it makes that click sound. But it does pretty good. So I've timed it at about 2 minutes and 5 seconds for doing 8 of each processor. The next most amusing one to me is this sort of just proof of concept RFTools Control program that I made to do it. It's pretty complicated, so I'm not going to explain it, and I'm sure there's much better ways that this could be done. I'm not all that good at RFTools Control. But what amuses me about this one is that it hot swaps the plates in and out. So this one always does silicon, and this one's always the final one. But this middle inscriber gets the plate swapped in and out as it goes. So if I dump these items in, see the log, it detected gold, so it switched to logic press mode. And now it's going to go ahead and start chugging along making processors. So with this current program, I've timed it about 2 minutes and 4 seconds, so about the same amount of time as Mekanism. And it's pretty good. Like I said, I'm sure there are much better ways that could be done with it. My favorite way here is XNet, and it's also the fastest. At a mere minute and 4 seconds to do a full set of 8 of each. So if I dump these in, it's going to start chugging along. And it is by far the fastest method that I've done, at least. And basically, this is just various filters and everything to pull the relevant raw materials out and filter silicon, gold, diamonds, pure Certus. And then item channels that pull all the results out, put them in here. And then the result gets pulled back out in the chest. It's not too complicated. So here's the raw material extract, redstone, pure, diamond, gold, silicon. And then power. And then extracting the prints and inserting into the top of that. Extracting the silicon print, inserting into the bottom, and then extracting the final and putting it back into the chest. This one is the one I'm doing in my Let's Play, which is the Integrative Tunnels method. It's fairly fast, but I like it just because of the way it works, and you can actually do it with just one chest. I just put a second chest here because if you were hooking this up to AE2, you'd want it piped into an interface, or an ender chest or something, to go back into the system. But you could just do it with a single chest. And this one clocks out at about the second fastest of these setups, at about 1 minute and 17 seconds for a set of 8. And it's basically just an item interface, then exporters with item cards keyed to the appropriate items, then importers importing the results, and then exporters keyed to redstone, printed silicon, and... oh yeah, that's the importer for the result. And this is the list of all of the 3 prints. And like I said, this is the second fastest at 1 minute and 17 seconds. So here is one of many ways to do it with just pure AE2. I personally wouldn't do it unless I was going for just pure AE2 for the sake of doing it as pure AE2, because there's a lot of processors involved in making all of these export and import buses. But basically it's going to function the same way-ish as the Integrated Tunnels method. And this clocks in at about 1 minute and 28 for a full set. And it's basically just a storage bus with export buses with the appropriate material, import buses with the results, and then export buses for the 2 prints and the redstone, and then an import bus on that. And that clocks in at about 1 minute and 28 seconds. And then I finally rigged up a way of doing it with thermal dynamics. It works. I'd probably do it with opaque item ducts just because it does kind of get derpy while it's doing it, and this clocks in at about the same time as the AE2 at a 128. What I mean by derping is these can only hold 1 item in their input, and the system tries to pull more, and so then they bounce back. So you can see every time it sends a print, it sends several prints, and then they bounce back again. So that would bug me, so like I said, I'd probably do this with opaque item ducts. But basically, just item duct going into here, retrievers set to the various materials for each inscriber, and then servos pulling the results out, and then retrievers set to whatever's needed for that side. And then a servo pulling the result out. And that is, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways of doing it. With 6 different mods. Like I said, this is by no means the only ways to do it. You could pretty much do it with almost any mod that does item transfer. I'm still working on a way to do it with Actual Edition's item lasers, but I'm still figuring that out. So that's pretty much it. And the only other thing over here is I got tired of cheating in certain amounts of items. So I ended up rigging up this RFTools Control system to keep enough items in this chest for doing 8 of each. And as soon as I pull it out, it restocks it with enough items for 8. So this is just kind of a little helper program I made to help test all these. Like I said, my favorite ways, as far as speed and compactness, is XNet. I love the Integrated Tunnels way just because of the way it works, and I like it. I like the mod. And then I find the Mekanism way just amusing because of the sounds. And this, at some point in the future, I'll probably work on ways of optimizing this to be even faster, but it's a lot more complicated, so... Alright, well, I will see you guys next time.